friends, I am Daisy Victoria, and today I thought it would be really fun to compare two vastly different types of corsets. This is inspired by a topic/question that comes to me, which is sort of the two ends of the spectrum. A fast fashion off the rack corset versus a high quality custom made corset. The fast fashion corset I will be looking at is one that I purchased years ago at a mall store. It is actually on the higher end of the fast fashion corsets which I've purchased, and that's why it's held up for years and I still have it to compare. The custom corset is made with high quality materials with steel boning, and this is one that I made for my specific measurements. It is a completely custom corset. Here's my fast fashion corset. There are a few things to note about this one. First of all, this is not going to do waist training, nor is it really going to take in your waist. We're going to look at a couple of reasons. First of all, the shape of the corset is rather straight up and down. It does have a little bit of a curve to it, but not very much. If your corset doesn't have the shape to it, there's no way it can possibly mold your body into a shape that simply doesn't exist. Next, this corset is a single layer of fabric in most places. It does have a little extra fancy ruched fabric here in the front. One reason I liked it, along with the embroidery, and I've actually enjoyed wearing it because I think it's really cute. Now, you can make corsets from a single layer of fabric, so don't think that your corset has to have multiple layers. Most do. The thing about this one is that it's stretchy. So this fabric is actually 3% spandex, and you don't want that in a real corset because you want it to shape you. You don't want it to stretch around your body. Another thing that makes this corset less suitable for waist training or heavy wear is the boning. It is completely done with plastic boning. Now, this is actually a higher quality plastic boning than most I've seen in here, and I believe that's why this particular piece has held up for so long. I did in my younger years purchase some other fast fashion corset bodices, we'll say, that had lower quality boning and they have not held up, so, you know, kudos on that. I'm going to put this one on and model it. This corset bodice is pretty cute. I do like it, that's why I got it, and I have worn it out on numerous occasions for a few hours here and there, and it holds up all right. Some things about this. As we mentioned, the shape of this is rather straight. It actually feels like my bust is rather tight in here. My hips, it's very tight. It's almost loose on my waist. Now, I do have a rather hourglassy figure, but I think that most people want to go that direction too, and that's kind of why we're wearing corsets, because they can give us an hourglass figure. So I'm not really sure why so many fast fashion companies are doing this, where they're making it more flat up and down, but I have noticed that happening quite a bit. Even with the off-the-rack corsets that have a little more higher quality materials, I've noticed a lot of them are made a little more flat like this. It's not super comfortable. Like, I do tend to put up with a lot with clothing, so it's not really like a big deal for me to wear this, but it's not an ideal fit. This type of bodice is not meant for very rough wear. It's not meant to be worn consistently day in and day out, or even possibly all day. Conclusions on the fast fashion bodice. It's super cute. It's not super comfortable, but if you want like a bodice look where you could wear it out for the evening and you don't want to spend very much money and you're okay with your garments maybe not being the most comfortable, there can be some benefits to having one. Just don't expect it to have a very long lifespan or to do anything aggressive such as waist training. This is my real corset. I chose an embellished one because I chose an embellished fast fashion corset, and I wanted to be fair, though I do think this one has a little bit more embellishing. I actually made this corset for my Hella inspired ball gown cosplay. Right away, we can note that this corset has a lot more curvature than the fast fashion bodice. That bodes very well because we want to be shaped into an hourglass in our corset. At least I do. In terms of materials, this corset has 3 layers of fabric. The fashion fabric on the outside is a very lovely Dupioni silk. There is a lining on the inside, which is cotton twill, and it does also have an interlining. Now, any real corset should use either a coutil or some sort of canvas or duck cloth for the interlining. You can certainly make a corset with fewer than 3 layers. This one needs multiple layers because I wanted that Dupioni to be out on top, so it's not just the coutil layer. The boning in this corset is mostly spiral steels. There are flat steels in the front. There's actually a front busk instead of the hooks and eyes too. And in the back there is flat steel surrounding the lacings. This corset is custom made, so the pattern is made to fit me, and then the corset is specifically suited to my measurements. That is going to be the best fit, hands down. Let's put it on. Typically, when you put your corset on, you will want to then tighten the laces. I have seasoned this corset so that it fits my body very well, so it's actually going on in sort of a looser configuration without undoing the laces that much first. When I say I've seasoned the corset, that means that I've worn it several times. So I've sort of worn it in and let it mold to my body. So when you do that, you want to wear your corset for just a couple of hours the first time, take it off, and then do that at least a few times, wearing it longer each time. And eventually it will kind of take on your body shape. Once it is molded to your body and the fabric fibers have kind of settled to the right places for you, then it will be super comfortable. You can see the shape is very hourglassy, much more shapely than the other one. In this corset, which was made for me, the bust and hips are not too tight. They fit snugly, but they do not fit overly snugly, so they're not actually squashing me at the bust and hips, they're just fitted. The waist does draw in a little bit, and it creates that really nice hourglass silhouette. This corset also actually has waist tape built on the inside, so that will help the waist to stay very small. Even as the fibers of the corset stretch, the waist will not be able to stretch nearly as much as the rest of the corset. This type of corset is very, very comfortable. I already have worn this all day at a time on multiple occasions, and I find it to be extremely comfortable. This corset, the way it's constructed and fitted to me, is in fact suitable for waist training. If you want to do something of that nature and you want a garment that's going to hold up for a long time and let you waist train, it is important that it fits you properly. There are a variety of off-the-rack corset companies out there these days. I am a corset maker and I always advocate for custom corsets because they're going to fit you the best, and I think if you're going to spend the money on a corset, you might as well spring for having it made for you, because that's going to be the absolute best for you and for the corset. Sometimes you can get away with an off-the-rack corset, hopefully one that's a little shapelier and happens to be near to your measurements. If you do want to do anything like waist training, anything that's a little bit more hardcore, that's definitely another place where I would recommend custom. This corset is so comfortable. It's actually more comfortable to me than wearing a modern bra, and I really like it. If you are interested in having a custom corset made, don't forget me, And if you are interested in making your own custom corset, I hope that I can be here as a resource and an inspiration to you. And either way, whether you have a corset that I helped you with or you found some inspiration to get your corset put together, feel free to tag me. I would love to see what you guys have and what corsets you are wearing. I think corsets are really lovely and really beautiful, and I think that a well-fitting corset can make us feel like the beautiful creatures that we are. All right, have a magical corset-filled day. Bye-bye.